Good morning, every folk. It is a Friday. It's Friday. It's time for us to lounge. I guess we could lounge. Oh, we could down tempo. I don't know if I like the down tempo as much. Okay, I was going to say I don't think I like the down tempo now either. I don't like you either.
I'll be careful.
You'll be dead. I think that was actually something I've been having these discussions on online with Brent, and that is that I think that Discovery had a 5-year contract. And I think really what's happened is they didn't expect in 2015 when they decided they were going to come up with this creative idea called Discovery Plus, they only had to compete with Hulu and Netflix. And they felt that Netflix was on a decline and Hulu was never really getting a whole lot of ground. So they felt like they had a good thing going for them to get in there. They had no idea they'd get in there with Disney and like a zillion other people. And now we're at a point where all of them are having a hard time showing a profit. And so it's difficult. I think what's happening is they're looking for ways to cut without having to cut. And Disco had a 5-year original plan. So rather than go to the re-up the 5-year plan to make it a 10-year plan, they just let it go on ahead and stall at 5 years. That's my theory. But, I mean, I could be wrong.
You've been before.
I have totally been wrong before.
I could cite specific examples if it would be helpful.
Yeah, no, that's good. Thanks. It's good. It's good. I'm fine. Brent says hi.
Hi, Brent. Why do people not want to hear about all the ways in which my husband is wrong?
No. He's saying please do.
Oh.
It's not all the people.
I have 2 words. Solar panels.
Yeah. That is definitely a place where I went wrong.
But I like you to have self-esteem, so I'll stop there.
Oh, thanks.
Hi, Brent.
All right.
Now I'm all mad at my wife and I have to draw a robot. What's your theme today?
Lost.
I've lost my good mood because my wife is picking on me. All right. I love you. I'm off to work.
I love you too. See you later. Lost my wife. Okay. We'll see you in a bit. At some point, I'll have to pull up a reference. But now I'm kind of playing the game of how far can I go before I have to pull up reference for this. You. All right. Now that we've had our daily visit from the cat, Mm. 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 Second visit in as many minutes. It's actually kind of kick ass. considering a few things. One, this is freehand, which is kind of interesting in and of itself. And two, it's from memory, which is also interesting in and of itself. Because I'm not pulling up any references yet. I haven't decided whether I'm even going to. Looks pretty cool by itself. I don't think I need references per se. Oh, I do believe I have forgotten an important thing. Like my morning medications. Yay for being old. right, guys. I'm going to go downstairs real quick and grab my medications. I'll be back. Weirdo. All right. Nice pepper.
Hey yo.
Hey yo, pepper.
I can be small.
Hmm?
I can be small.
You can be small.
Mm-hmm.
I'll small you. There we go. You're small.
I'm small.
You look for things to make you go.
Did everyone leave?
Everyone?
I don't see any messages in the duck pond, so.
Oh, it's because Brent isn't here right now. And
Oh.
Brent was the only one that was talking at the moment.
So I got the 5 pages that I was working on, they're all written. Now I thumbed all the 5 more pages. Now I have to get those written. But I kind of am debating whether or not to start the thumbnails for the next 5. Well, 6, technically.
I feel that.
6 pages left. Huh?
I said, I feel that. Oof.
So. Well, the weird thing is the next, for the first 4 pages of the next 5 pages, they're narrations from the hologram.
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out, do I want to basically have it so that, because I think I changed the hologram character to just be an image or an imitation of the person that was a member of the royal family. So which case, like, she uses like her vernacular and everything like that she would normally do, but she's like emotionless, completely, and everything. And I changed it from one singular mantis man to a grouping of insect beings that are attacking it.
Okay.
Well, I think that's even better. The problem is I've put myself in a conundrum, in a sense. Basically, I now have to make something that looks human, but also mantis.
Mantis.
Yes. So the mantis man that attacked the research colony that's on Callisto, they leave dead carcasses behind. This is the folklore in my head.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so when the babies come out as larvae and they feast on the carcasses, that's on how they look like mantis men.
Gotcha.
Well, when the babies came out, they feasted on human bodies and remains. So they now don't look like full mantis men. And they can't leave the greenhouse because if they try, they have the problems that humans do when they go onto the surface of Callisto. Meaning they can't breathe, they can't operate, they can't...
all the normal things.
Yes. So they stay in the greenhouse. In which case I make them open the greenhouse and discover these horrifying looking creatures that are half human, half bug.
Hug.
Yes, they're hugs.
They're hugs.
They definitely want to give you hugs. They're cannibalistic though, too.
They want to hug you.
Yes.
That's fair.
So I'm trying to figure out that part on how to draw them. I was thinking, like, what if I drew them like someone stretched a human face over a mantis head where their eyes are basically popping out the side of like a
You.
human head with like flesh that covers it, but like the mouth's still like a mantis. And
You. Like it.
and instead of hands, they still have like the long like things that they have, right? But they could have human feet.
Fair.
Um, I don't know. They're also supposed to have wings, mantis men, so I don't know if I want them to have wings. Hey, Brett. Uh,
Useless meetings.
hey, if you're in a meeting that could have been an email, I have a shirt for that.
Right? Like, ridiculously true.
So, are you going to be at the meetup?
That's the battle plan.
Okay.
Definitely the battle plan. Which probably means that we will are likely do our after meeting lunch thing. What we tend to do.
Uh-huh. Well, do you want my husband to come, or do you want...
No, I don't even like that guy.
Oh, well, I mean,
Yeah.
the feeling's mutual.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fine.
Well, I don't know. He may want to stay home. I don't know yet.
All is good. Either way is totally fine. However he wants to do it is good by me. Oh my gosh. But I am going to stand up for a minute because I have completed task 1 for the day. And I will now complete task 2. Actually, completed completely different task.
Yes, task 1.
Yep. Task 1 is complete. I've done my march of robots for the day. I evicted some poor, unsuspecting astromech droid. Because yesterday I said, I'm pretty sure that at some point I'm going to have to do something with an astromech droid. And so I figured, well, no time like the present. So poof! Out went an astromech. Now I'm sorting up my work stuff because I pulled it all apart yesterday for my meeting. So I need to put it all back together. So I know that my buddy Troy is working this weekend, which is cool.
Uh-huh.
Because he has joined my school as a driving instructor, because he also has ample experience driving and actually worked in driving school back in the day. And so I was like, hey, if you're interested in doing this, my school is hiring. And so he's like, I am, in fact, interested in doing this. So he joined. He's working this weekend, which is great. Lord have mercy on us all. He's moving to task 2. Task 2, by the way, is setting up my exercise bike. Because there was an article that says 11 minutes of exercise a day is enough to drop your risk of heart attack and stroke by nearly 50%.
Okay.
11 minutes. It's a statistically thing.
But don't you go walking for like an hour every day?
I did until my buddy Alex just got a job, and now he's had a job all day. He was great while he was unemployed. Not for him, but for me. So now I have to come up with a plan B. So my plan B is to put something on YouTube on this upper monitor, turn this monitor sideways, and then I've got my bike right here. So I should be able to just watch it. No, you didn't. You have to get on here and then show us the finished page. We just had locker rooms going here. We're making locker room jokes. Okay, so this is nothing like the original one. All right, let's do the math on this. If we are here, we got one. Oh, yeah. Worthless meetings. Okay, so we are good. Because it's not 26 pages, it's 24 pages. Feel like I could move everything up one and have a splash in the front part of this, which might be very useful. Because like page 19, because I'm looking at this and either looking at 15, which is a splash, but it's the wrong side. So what I'm thinking is, what if I were to swap $14 with pretty much everything? So maybe I could just take and just do the intended course. You do that, you'll move everybody back one, right? Okay. And then move this here. And that should be the way it should roll. And then take this and swap it with that. I think that's probably a better rig on this one, because then I'll end up with a splash here, splash here. Yes. Yes, this is the way it should be. I like the fact that I can rearrange these things and they come out okay. All right. All righty. I'll pin this one up here. I'm just going to rummage through here until I find some decent things to look at. Like a decent... whatever. Splash page is what I was looking for. Splash page at this moment. That last statement was addressed to you, Pepper.
Oh, I am putting in narration points in the pages that I have to write right now. I am working on the Ghost of Callisto, an Atomic Punk Jupiter storyline. I'm trying to get the 16 pages written so that I can try to get them done in time so that I can get it printed for the April convention, because I think I'm only doing one convention this year.
If you only do one convention this year, make sure that it's okay. Wait.
Well, I mean, it's right next to my house. It's not that it's very convenient. The stuff in my life right now, I can't really travel very much, so
I'm not actually joking with you. I'm not like criticizing you. And it was just like, yeah, no, I just somehow the way you said I can only do, so it sounded like one of those commercials. If you could only do one convention this year, yeah, you can only watch one movie this year. That's all. It was funnies in my heads. I'm getting splash page ideas if you're wondering. I like looking at all these pictures on. None of these are striking me as awesome, particularly, I feel like I should head on back to the old Stanley Macross, because that's always something to look into. So pulling out the Macross Tankobon. ghost. It's 3 ghosts. When you realize that Minmay technically could be your kid. Oh my God. So Macross took place in 2012, and Minmay was a teenager in 2012, obviously. Was born in 1993. And I'm like, she could have been my kid. She would have totally been an early kid, because I graduated high school in 92. So if she had been my kid, it would have been one of those I had her at 19 sort of things. But still, 19 is definitely old enough to have children. Some of my buddies from high school all have kids that were born in 93. Not all. That sounded weird, but... Problem I've got is the story here takes place on or takes place with the main character being Chang, and Chang isn't wearing any clothes. A full panel picture of her may not necessarily be one of those top 10s.
Maybe if it was on your Patreon and people saw it there.
No, it's the splash. So I'm trying to come up with a different idea for a splash here. Is really what I'm kind of...
Instead of just strategically just placing stuff in front of her naked body?
Nobody will ever notice that.
You know, as much as everyone says that stories need to be serious all the time, typically there are some stuff that you can interject comedy with it, and not only will it work out, sometimes it makes the story even better.
Yeah, I could see doing that, but one of the rules I'm trying to do is not to Austin Powers, if I can avoid it.
But it's not from Austin Powers. That trope was developed before Austin Powers.
I'm using it as an example. It's not necessarily, I'm just saying, it's not the Austin Powers that I have a problem with. It's the effect that I have a problem with. But what I can do is do sort of a thing where we have the coffee cup and her hand like this, and her elbows like this, and her other hand like this, like I hate life. And then her head here, and she's looking half lidded like this. Then she's still, naked, but she would be when she got out of bed, but it doesn't show anything. I just feel like, you pick up this issue off my table You open it to the first page, and there's boobs right off the bat. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, it would only be a concern if people weren't such Puritans.
Yeah. It totally would. I mean, because
And
it gives
prudes.
the wrong impression as to what I'm after here.
Yeah. But like, would I say picking it up and having a kid look at it who's well underage and the parent not paying attention and they purchase it for the kid, not realizing that's what it is?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you'll probably have a lot of male clientele picking it up.
Right. There's that.
I'm just trying to, other than like shrink wrapping them and individually.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the only other thing I can think of doing so that no one can see inside, and sticking a label on it saying something 17.
Yeah.
Because that's basically, once you add nudity, but it's not sexual nudity, it becomes that rating.
Right.
Heaven
forbid nipples.
I know. I mean, technically, Colorado does have laws on the books where people can go around topless. Women, I mean.
Yeah.
As young as 12.
You mean that? What? You mean 12 up to 12 and then over 12
and up?
18?
12 okay. And up.
So if you're under 12, your kid has to wear a top.
Pretty much.
I like that. That's funny. So while your daughter looks exactly like your son, you can't do it.
Right.
But as soon as your daughter looks different than you.
Yeah. I think it's the city of Boulder that allows women to be topless on the street.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think it's silly to,
I'm gonna look this up because, like, I can't remember on how it's worded.
This has been one of those things where it's been an ongoing thing with me anyway, which is making nudity a bad thing is just stupid. And it's funny because I have had the discussion with people about this, and they're like, "Well, but what about protection?" I'm like, "Protection's one thing, but we don't make laws that say you have to carry an umbrella over you whenever it's raining."
Okay. No, Fort Collins. This is Fort Collins. Okay. So Fort Collins, city of Fort Collins, decided to lift the ban of appearing topless in public for women.
Good job.
Yeah. They basically decided that they weren't going to fight it anymore, and they just made it legal for that city.
Makes sense.
So, not all of Colorado.
No, just
Fort Collins. Now, if you're in Fort Collins area and you're near one of the lakeside beaches, you can be topless. There you go.
Good job, people.
Yep. It's part of the Free the Nipple movement.
I don't blame the Free the Nipple movement. I think that's great. I don't know. It's just one of those discussions. It's like, it starts with the whole sex equals bad, which is, that's also silly. Consensual sex should never be a problem.
Mm. Yeah, but it's the opposite of that. That's a problem. So,
Well, yeah.
yeah.
We don't make people wear armor because consensual stabbings occur. You know, you must wear your body armor. After all, it's
Hey,
plausible.
if you have legal documentation regarding someone asking you to stab them, makes it completely legal for you to have stabbed them.
Right? We're just saying.
It is that reason why someone got away with cannibalism in Germany.
Oh, totally. Does not
Because the family of the person that was cannibalized had to sit there and watch a videotape of their relative asking to be eaten by the cannibal.
legitimately do not want to be eaten.
Exactly.
I mean, I understand that I would be dead. Legitimately don't want to be eaten.
Yeah. Not at least by a human being. Nope.
I'm not sure I want to be eaten by a non-human being. Yeah. And not that I necessarily think that that's bad, but you know, that's back to that thinking process.
The story that I'm actually mentioning is actually kind of famous. The guy got away with the cannibal got away with eating people for years before he actually got placed in jail for killing someone who didn't want to be eaten.
There you go. That's when you cross the line.
Yeah. So there's that. Oh. I was also I stumbled across like this story type thing in one of those real TikTok things, and they were talking about clowns. I don't know if you have clowns in your Space Odyssey adventure, but
Just
they were
clown.
talking about the things that kind of unite a lot of past things that people don't realize that were in all cultures, including like the ancient Aztec, Mayan, Inca, Egyptian, Sumerian, all of them, was the court jester or clown.
Right?
And the funny thing is, in some of those languages, particular the Mayan or the Incan, I can't remember which one, roughly translated for what the meaning of clown is, also means bloated corpse.
Nice.
So people who fear clowns may have some weird utter thing that's in their mind that is from like very ancient times about the fact that clowns were actually depictions of dead people.
This explains a great many things about David's work, man. Just saying. Speaking of, did anybody heard from David?
Which David?
The David that usually hangs out with us.
No. Did we offend him?
I don't know.
I mean, he's not necessarily someone that I talk to outside of the show, so
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think we're friends on social media.
No. I'm kind of wondering what happened to him. Hope he's okay. Oh man.
Oh, nice. The Across the Spider-Verse is bringing in the Indian Spider-Man.
Oh, cool.
It's actually kind of nice because I remember reading that storyline way back when. I'm wondering if they're gonna do. They're gonna bring another one in.
Sorry. If you have documentation for the legal stabbing of clowns. Oh, that's good. Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Tell him we're thinking of him next time you talk to him.
Okay. So apparently one of my friends is trying to get Pepe Le Pew back on air.
That's fair.
I mean, first of all, the character itself, over the years, they have downplayed his original shtick.
Mm-hmm. Because he did
before they completely took him off the roster. And when I was younger and Tiny Toons was going on, they had a female version of Pepe Le Pew, which was a purple female skunk, whom went after as many boys as she wanted, and it was basically the reverse genders of Pepe Le Pew.
Right.
And people didn't like that character either. For the same reason they didn't like Pepe Le Pew. So it was like, it's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. Boomerang still has the episodes. They've taken a few of them off, which are which are a little bit worse than others. But I mean, if someone wants to see them, there's a way to find them. I think
there's a way to find anything, though.
Yeah. Do I think he should come back? Yeah, I do. I think he can be rewritten or retconned. That's for sure. The last thing that I saw him written into, he was actually very tame. He didn't even go after women. He was just basically depicted as a French person. Like, always.
Right?
I guess.
That's the thing. The thing about Pepe Le Pew was that he was somewhat of a stereotype. You know, that French people, the whole point was that French people were so enamored with love and sex that they pretty much molest everybody. So that's one of the reasons why it tends to be a little cringy. You know what I mean? Like, well, you know.
I still like it when the female cat turned the tables on him. That was fun. That's always fun to see.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that typically is kind of the reason why there was a time in our history where stereotyping was good for comedy. And that time is kind of dying, you know? And so I think that's part of the problem. We'd have to reimagine Pepe Le Pew.
Mm-hmm.
because it was originally supposed to be sort of a tongue-in-cheek statement about how the French were promiscuous and how that was bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back to the sex is evil and horrible and bad and you should never do it, which is bizarre and super religious. So I don't know. Kind of depends on how you want to look at it, I guess. So I am having focus issues today. I was having focus issues last night. I'm having focus issues today. Just having focus issues. I even tried to get on the bike for a minute or two in hopes that maybe that would make my brain settle in. I mean, I feel like I want to work. I just can't seem to settle in on things that I want to work on. And I'm having the weird frustration problems where, whereby I'm trying to do the things and then getting frustrated because I can't do them, and which is, I don't know, strange.
Mm.
'll try to be somewhat productive.
Ten years ago today, I asked 30 vegans to take a survey for my statistics class for my master's degree.
Interesting.
Yes. I still can't believe it's been 10 years since I got my master's degree. All right.
No, I gotta start putting in my intentions for summer. Like, what classes am I teaching? What am I doing over the summer? What am I doing over the summer? Does anybody know? So it actually kind of worries me a little bit whenever I get emails that say, I'm assuming you're going to recall these two pictures. Because if I click on it to see what those are and it turns out to be spam and a virus, then that sucks. But then again, I do give people pictures. So it's like, uh-oh, are these two pictures of a house that need to be recalled? You know, what's the story? You know, kind of thing.
I would say look at the email before you open it.
Well,
like,
yeah,
you
I mean,
can see the
obviously.
sender. Because if it's like a weird email, which it like trails off, and you can't see the end, that's typically spam or a virus.
Well, it's to a location that I've never seen before, so I'm presuming it's spam. But I'm also kind of feeling like, well, I feel like I could take a big risk with, you know, I assume this is spam, therefore.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm taking a horribly large risk doing that. Doesn't mean I'm going to click it, by the way. If people are on the thread, they're screaming, no, not that. I'm just sitting there going, you know, like,
Bob's your uncle?
Bob's your uncle. That's all. Yeah. Somebody's dissing my boobs too. I'm just saying. Just don't seem very boobulated. Which, interestingly, we are. What about Bob? He's my uncle. Didn't we mention that? We just had this discussion.
Technically, I think I had, growing up, I think I had 3 or 4 Uncle Bobs. Yeah. My mom's brother, my grandmother's brother, my grandfather's brother. So that's 3. I thought I had 4. Who knows? I may have had an adopted uncle that was also named Bob, for all I know.
we had a sort of a reality thing going on where like all of our groups sort of banded together to raise the kids. So we consider the group to be sort of like everybody's uncle sort of thing, all the kids
Mm-hmm.
just in our group.
Well, I mean, me and my family kind of did that too. So, like people who married into the family, if their family got along with my mom's side of the family, we also called that extended family aunt and uncle, like
Right.
my cousins would. So, like, some people found that to be very weird.
Even though I find that to be making total sense.
Yeah. My mom and dad, when they first got together and they got married and, had my sister, my dad was 20. My mom was about to turn 22 that year. That they became parents. And so all of their friends were fairly young, but none of them wanted to be called Mr. and Mrs.
Right.
Because that's like for older people.
Right.
But my parents didn't want them to call them, like, my parents didn't want to have us call certain friends by their first name. So I called them aunt and uncle as well.
Always fair.
And my grandparents had a rotating had rotating teenagers going in and out of their house. So we had a lot of like my grandparents took care of these teenagers when they were having problems with their parents or having problems with this or that or anything.
Right.
And so we had those. Those were also considered relatives to us as well. So there's a lot of things like that.
Fair. Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. The whole knowing whether you're supposed to call them aunt or uncle or things like that, that's kind of a, I don't know. But it's weird that you had family members that thought it was weird.
Oh no, my family didn't. No, my family didn't think it was weird. It was other people outside of our family that thought it was weird.
Because I'm like, that's not that weird.
No, because like one of the people that I called aunt was one of my teachers, and so in the middle of class I called her aunt.
Oh, gotcha. That is.
And people were like,
weird.
This is weird. Why are you calling her aunt? And I was like, I've always called her that. And they're like, are you related to her? No. Biologically, I'm not. And they're like, so why do you call her aunt? And I had to explain in my family, this is what we do. And people were like, look at me like I had 3 heads. And I was just like, what? Like, she's my godmother's sister-in-law.
What kind of weirdo are you that you don't have 2 heads?
She was my godmother's sister-in-law. I was raised with her kids, in my life. My godparents took care of me like twice as like parental roles in my life. And so I called all of my godmother's siblings aunt and uncle.
That sounds fair to me.
So there you go. And that is confirming I was separated from my parents at least twice in my life. I'm all right.
That's my thing
Yeah,
is
I
your
mean, that is
family.
true. Yes, Brent, that is true. I mean, my children are probably going to have a lot of people being called aunt and uncle as well. I have no problem with it. I also believe in surrogate grandparents. If my kid has grandparents, that's great, but they're going to have more than just one or two sets. They're going to have, well, in my case, they're going to have three grandmothers. So they have my step grandma, they have my stepmother, and then they have my mom, and
Your
then they
mom.
have my husband's mother. But they only have one grandfather between me and Bill because Bill's father passed away, unfortunately. So I have surrogate grandparents for that reason, so that they have more than just one male grandfather figure.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. And Bill chose his in from his side. So, but that's basically what my family does. Like, I grew up with surrogate grandparents from both sides of my mom and my dad's family, because we were the grandkids for the non grandkid couples that their children were too young to either have kids, or they weren't having kids around the same time my grandparents were getting grandchildren. So that's on how I got mine.
Yeah, I mean that. I know that we're kind of sitting there going, "Wow, you had a very," but I mean, really, the truth is that uh, I had a similar setup. You know,
Yeah.
like number of different grand people, because the
Yeah.
South, and cannot be denied.
Well, it's not just South. I think it's also a certain type of class,
Yeah,
working class,
yeah,
if that makes sense. It's basically everyone that's considered like a boomer pretty much had that mentality, and their kids kind of just continued it.
yeah. I think you're right. I mean, I think there's a certain amount of just the way that we sort of set up things.
Yeah. I mean, all of his kids were told to shut up when and talk when we were supposed to be talked to, so like there's that.
I'm trying to figure out how to make this not hang off the end here of the scanner, and not succeeding. Mm, mm, mm. Well, hey, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Yep. So it's 11:03. Time for us to shut her down.
Mhm.
So I will chat with you a little later on, though.
Oh, today?
I don't know. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow. And
I mean, like, in theory, I'll see you tomorrow, right?
mm-hmm.
I'm heading up to your part of town. Oh,
Yes. Well, just let me know if, because I'm still unsure if I'm actually wanting to go to the meetup.
well, I don't. So my assumption is I'm not picking you up, but we're going to go do lunch afterwards. If you want to change that assumption, that is totally cool.
Yeah.
Just let me know. But that is what I will operate on unless you tell me otherwise. How about that?
Okay.
And then that way, there's no
Actually,
pressure.
operate like you're gonna come and pick me up. and I'll let you know whether or not Bill wants to come. Because if Bill comes, then we'll just bring our car, and you won't have to pick me up.
Okay. I feel like you just totally said the opposite of what I just said. But that's okay.
I did. I said plan on picking me up.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
If I convince Bill to come with me,
Yeah.
then he will drive the car, and we will drive our own vehicles, and you can just go straight to the meetup.
Sounds good to me.
So
I will see you all, though, whichever. I assume I will hear from you at some point.
Mhm.
So just let me know what's going on. We're talking about tomorrow's Fort Collins meeting.
yes.
And so that's what's going on, and trying to figure out what we're doing. Do you want to go to lunch with us tomorrow, Can? Because I'm open for it. I'll be in your neighborhood.
So right before we are ending the show, we actually got a question from someone over.
What do we think of oranges?
And
You like
I
oranges?
eat them every day.
Every day.
And me and Bill want to make orange bundt cakes.
I like pecans, the little teeny oranges, in the middle of summer when they freeze them. Because they'll do that, and that's a Japanese thing. They'll put them in the freezer and freeze them.
I like the Sumo citrus, which is basically it's a tangerine mixed with a navel orange.
That's an orange from your belly button.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Just saying. All right.
Okay.
Night,
So
everyone.
11:06, and we're past our time. So I will see you guys all later. I will not be broadcasting, of course, tonight. I will be broadcasting again Sunday night. So if you need us, we'll be here Sunday night. Until then, as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye.
Peace.